What's up, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 34. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Ryan Majoma,
Hey guys, what's up?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, people.
All right, the Murdochs will be here, like in 20 minutes or so. Brett will tell you why. It's, something very cool. And Manny will be back on Thursday. So without further ado, let us get into some questions. I wonder who's first this week. It might be different, right? No? Final stage boss as usual. Oh yeah, by the way, quick shout out to CJ Bencourt. We had him on the show on Thursday. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, he really appreciated it. And I almost forgot. Tonight's Throwdown is sponsored by I think Youngling is the name of this fucking beer. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Oh, Yingling.
Yeah, Yingling. Okay, like Youngling, like Star Wars or something. I don't know.
I thought it was Bud Light. Like I remember, just reading a tweet saying that you had like a bunch of Bud Lights.
Oh yeah, I got a ton of them, but I also have a sprinklings of some of this stuff. Dude, I think I got to the point where I'm sick of Bud Light now. I drank so much of it this weekend. I think I drank like 2 cases worth of it. I'm like, I think I want something else now.
I do like Yingling a lot.
Yeah, I haven't had this in a while. It's good. It's lager, different than
no more T-Rex Arms Man or not.
No more tea. That's the stupid Dominican wine. I'm not drinking that shit ever again. Dominicans know how to make beer. They don't know how to make wine. They know how to make rum too, but wine, no. That's for the French. But you guys probably will see me drinking Bud Lights. I still have like 10 of them left. I go to this party yesterday. Mike, Chris, his sons are 3 now. By the way, they're 3 years old and they're like huge. It's insane. So anyway, I'm like, hey, can I take home a couple beers? Like, sure. And then he just hands me like pretty much 3 cases worth. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like everybody showed up with their own case. Like I brought over some Blue Moon. Like everybody just seemed to bring Bud Light for some reason.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, and the amount of pork we ate was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Good times. All right, first question here. Final stage boss. What is the best site you have ever worked for? Remember, Richard and Fat Ass will hear your answers.
Oh, that's just not nice, Final Stage Boss. Come on, man. Have respect for
a dramatic answer, man. Fuck that. I liked every site I worked on. They all had their good stuff. Like SCF and Play, that was my first site, obviously, so that's always going to be special. Dual Shockers, I like the access, and Coalition, I like the access and the freedom. So yeah, that's my answer. Anybody else want to step on this? Very tricky to navigate here. I guess what side I didn't like to work for, but I'm not going to say that on air.
Well, with me, it's kind of a tough one because I haven't been on the Coalition for as long and I haven't done as much as I have done for FTF and Play, so it's very difficult to compare and contrast. So again, with Tony, I'm diplomatic.
There you go. All right, Chris, you're the last one.
Shit, I don't know. I like working for everyone. I'm just glad to be working. How about that?
There you go. I like that answer. I like that one. All right. Well, then again, Chris, the only big difference with you is you actually upset more people now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess this should be my favorite because I just anger people and I have received personal hate mail.
Yeah,
so.
That's an accomplishment right there, man. Nintendo fanboys. I'm surprised they didn't get on my ass for that news piece I wrote. I was very critical, but they didn't get on me. Oh man. All right, next question. Oh, Brian, this is for you. To the PC gamers, do you use mouse and keyboard or controller? If you use a controller, which one do you use?
Depends what game it is. Certain games lend themselves better to certain controls than others. For example, any game that has any type of shooting, keyboard and mouse. The mouse is just so much better for aiming than the controller is. I'm sorry, but you just can't get that pinpoint accuracy with a controller that you can.
What are you apologizing for? That's just a fact, isn't it?
Well, people get upset when you mention facts like that. But for some games, I may go to controller from time to time. For example, The Crew. I play that exclusively with a controller. Well, in fact, all racing games I play with a controller because it's just so much easier than keyboard and mouse. Because with a controller you have the joystick and then you can vary the input, so you can go from 1 to 100 and like in between. Whereas with the keyboard, it's pretty much on and off, and that makes it like very difficult to like manage your acceleration and speed and whatnot. So there's that balance. So again, it depends on the game. Yeah, as I said, all racing games I played on PC have been with a controller. So that's Need for Speed, Rivals, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, The Crew, Burnout Paradise, all controller, no keyboard and mouse at all. But yet stuff like Warframe, I started off with keyboard and mouse, then moved to controller, then back to keyboard and mouse. Tomb Raider, that was all controller based. What else? GTA 5, right now on PC, it's all keyboard and mouse based. And which one do I use? Currently, I'm using my trusted PS3 controller, the black one, because it's just plugged in, and my PS3 is not plugged in, so it works easier. I have been meaning to try out the PS4, see how that goes, but I don't know. I'll wait and see how that goes.
Don't you have to like update some drivers or something to that to work?
As far as I know, I should be able to just plug it in and download a program that emulates that 360 controller, and that should be it.
All right, should be easy. Chris, what about you? Because I know you play on PC too.
I'd say for most of the games I play, because I've been playing MMOs, it's just keyboard and mouse. So like today, I updated Star Trek Online because they added the Iconian Wars, and I don't know if people remember there was one obscure episode of Next Generation where they find this ancient technology of this race that hasn't been around for millions of years called the Iconians. So they brought them back in the game, and they're actually the worst threat the Federation has ever seen, and they make the Borg look like nothing. So there's that going on. There's a war, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta get in on this, and there's all this added stuff. So I was like playing today, and yeah, all keyboard and mouse. Like, so that's how
that upsets me, by the way, that we don't have a Star Trek series to actually cover this. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, it would, like all the stories, and actually they actually brought back actors to do voices in the game. Like they just brought the guy who played Tom Paris in Voyager.
Oh, nice.
To reprise his character, and they got Tim Russell as Tuvok, and they did this whole thing with the Delta Quadrant, and they've been getting these guys to come back. But like that's all the Star Trek you get is like you get some canon from this game, and I don't know, whatever, like the fan stuff. Remember, Larray interviewed Vic Mignogna, and he's doing Star Trek Continues. That's it. That's all we're getting besides the movies. That's it.
Motherfuckers. All right. When you do use a controller, do you like pick a specific one?
Yeah, I did configure the game to back before they had support for it. There was these drivers I had, so I could use a DualShock 3 with the game, and it made the ship battles like it worked really well in space, but it didn't work so well on the ground. The ground you need a keyboard and mouse. Like I couldn't map enough stuff to the controller to do everything I wanted to do. Well, it was pretty cool, and other stuff too. If I use emulators and stuff, I'll just hook the DualShock 3 in there, and I had this like in-between program where I could map keys and then use emulators.
Nice. All right, there we go. I'm pretty sure Brett will probably answer that later on. All right, last question. This is a fun one. If you could harness the power of only one Infinity Stone or gem, which one would you choose and why? I'll go last. I know. I got my answer, but I'm gonna wait for the last one. Anyway, Brian, what about you, man? What do you say?
It's a tough choice. It really is. Yeah, some really nice ones there. Let's see. The real question is which ones would you not want? Because some of them, like, you just don't want the power of. Like, for example, is it the Mind Gem that allows you to like read everyone's mind? Yeah, the Mind Gem.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want the power to read anyone's mind at any one time, considering how much crap there is on YouTube?
Well, I mean, it could be pretty useful too, to get your way.
But then, essentially, it'll be like a drop in the ocean, like type thing. Like there'll be that one time when it works well and it works as it should. The rest will just sat there reading other people's thoughts, and like, have you ever had that moment where like you walk past the street and then someone just looks at you weird, and then you wonder what's their problem? Like, do you really want to know what they're thinking of you at that time?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can control it. It's not going to be just activated all the time,
Yeah, exactly. You can control it, but then how do you know that what they're thinking is actually good or bad, or could be something that's just totally disturbing?
Yeah,
Like, you know how the internet is.
that's true.
But it does grant, well, according to the Wikipedia, it does grant telepathy and telekinesis, so I guess that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, powers of the mind.
Hmm. I don't know. There's so many that are really good. I'd either have to go with the time or the space, because like with either of those two, then you can pretty much do anything you want and no one can touch you. Like with the space jam, you can be anywhere and everywhere at the same time. So, hey, if you're late for a meeting, boom, you're there. You know, or say that you want to go from here to wherever, you know, you just do it, and it's not a problem. But yeah, with time, you can like slow and stop and fast forward and whatnot. So
And go back and forward in time too.
yeah, so you can essentially just infinitely loop, just slap someone in the face forever
Yep.
until you're bored. that is how my mind works. It's like,
Yes,
I
I
can
love
look back
it.
and forward in time, so I can theoretically slap someone in the face as many times as I want. So it's actually Click. You have the power of Adam Sandler in Click.
Oh
You know,
man.
which is pretty cool, but without the Adam Sandler.
Yes, we don't want that.
Then the reality gem as well. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'd say space.
All right.
Space is the one I want most.
All right, I'm gonna go with my answer. This one came simple. Reality. You could warp all of reality to your whim. Why do you not want that? You know, I mean, think about it. If you have like reality, can't you kind of warp time and space too? It's you're warping reality in general. You know,
the reality gem essentially is like granting any wish you want. So if you went like, I want a time machine, boom, you have time. Now you can go through time. It's like,
I could be a genie. I could be my own genie, basically.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know what? I don't like the way the solar system looks today. Let me change it around a little bit. You know, I don't like the way this guy's face looks. Let me morph him into an animal. Like, I can go nuts with this, man. So yeah, Reality Stone without any question. Reality Stone's been introduced in the movies, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which one was that? The Aether? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. Ooh, that was good. I didn't think about it. What was the Aether rating? All right, so yeah, Reality. Anyway, Chris, what about you?
Well, I was gonna say reality also, because it's like
Yes.
it's the ultimate wish gem. It's better than anything that could grant you wishes. Like you literally anything you can think of happens.
Exactly. You're only limited by your imagination.
Yeah. So fuck Green Lantern rings. Fuck genies. Like forget it. This is the best. Like that he's hands down wins. Like you don't even need the other gems if you have
You
that.
really don't. You really don't. All right, so you go. By the way, my runner-up was time. He's like, wait, I could go back in time, forward in time. That'd be pretty cool. But that's all you can really do, man. Reality, you can fuck with shit, man. You're right, Chris. Like, yeah, reality gem. Let me build a time machine, and I can travel back and forth in time.
Yeah, I would just be like, I'm late for work. Let me move the office next to my house. Bam, I'm not late. Like, there you go.
And then you make your workspace full of like hot supermodels or something. And then you decide you don't want to
really
work. Yeah, and then you decide you don't want to work. You don't, that's what I'm saying. You decide you don't want to work anymore, and then you like, have like $1 million in your house, and you realize you don't need money anymore because you can literally conjure whatever you want. You know. So,
if I couldn't have the reality gem, then I have to take the power gem because you can literally have any power you wanted, right?
Yes.
You just make yourself the Sentry. It's like, bam, I'm the Sentry now.
Everything.
Fuck everyone up.
All right, moving on. Fern Gully. Now, Fern Gully actually asked 5 questions, but considering the fact that we don't have many questions this week, and Fern Gully, I don't think so really asked us much stuff, I'm going to allow it. I'm the referee. I'm going to allow it. All right, here we go. Okay, if Konami created a next-gen Contra, you think it would sell well? Now, here's the key thing you got to consider. If Konami did it, no, because Konami is fucking everything up. I don't trust them. If somebody else made a next-gen Contra, maybe it'll be good. But Konami, no, I don't have faith in them anymore. They're done. They're done. Put a fork in them, man. Fuck that. That's all I got to say about that. No.
I agree. They haven't made a good Contra in a long time, and the way they are now, forget it. Like, I have no faith that after Metal Gear 5, don't expect really anything good coming out of them.
They're done. They're done. Right, Brian. You're the last one, man. Oh, boy.
they're done.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but they are pretty much they're done. They're screwed. They've literally just fucked up everything for themselves. It's like I don't know how they could fuck. Like this time last year, they were pretty much on top of the world. It's like, oh wow, they have Metal Gear Solid, they have Kojima, they have Silent Hills. Like shit's going well, and then now it's like, oh, they have nothing now.
Basically.
Okay, fine, they have like some things like here and there, but ultimately it's like, yeah, the British have quit life. So no.
Sorry, Konami. Just being real here. All right. Next question. This is a fun one. If Sony went out of business and ceased to exist, and everyone went out and bought an Xbox One, all in capitals, by the way, do you think that would make otherzinc happy? Think carefully about your answer. I'm going to go with no, because I think this dude's just going to find any reason to pitch. So, nah. That would be his dream, though, if like Sony just, like, okay, we're closing up shop. No more PlayStation, no more Sony pictures, no more nothing. He'd probably be dancing. He'd be in a comment section just, like, loving it. But then he'd probably get mad over something else. Probably Nintendo.
Well, actually, the fact that I care more about Sony Pictures going out of business, so that way I care more about what happens to the Spider-Man license, it shows you just how much I don't give a damn about the question. And, it's like, so then, if Sony Pictures did go out of business, then would the Marvel or the Spider-Man license go back to Marvel, or?
Yeah, technically it would.
Yeah, so I'll be happy. I don't care about otherzinc. Hey. I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
Oh man! All right, Chris, get in here.
I don't know. I don't know if he'd be happy. I don't know if he'd be like just probably ranting at all the Sony fanboys, like, you see, guys, don't just buy Xbox. I don't know. I don't know. Like in his fucking alternate reality, if he'd be happy. I don't know if he's ever happy. So. I just don't know. That hypothetical is kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe something else would come along to piss him off. Maybe somebody will step in. Maybe Steambox or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, he'll go after PC gamers.
Good luck with that.
All right, next question here. Okay, this is a pretty long one. Remember how Enter the Matrix with Jada Pinkett Smith on the front and Dragon Slayer 3D were the only 1080i games on the Xbox/PS2/GameCube generation for a number of years, only to find out the games were cut every corner in the book just to have 1080i only on Xbox sale the game. Is that something similar to what Forza 5 has unwittingly created among some hardcore fans? And in parentheses, he goes, I own this game and I'm in no way saying the game sucks, just asking a question to help a special someone who looks at this game as the Jesus Christ of next-gen games. So he's wondering if if Forza 5 cut corners to achieve 1080p 60 frames. I don't think it cut corners like intentionally. I think it's just, like I said, it's a racing game. There's not much to create outside of the track itself, so you could have all the fancy stuff. So I don't think they cut corners. It's just a racing game. It's just how it is. And then again, I'm going to throw Drive Club under the box. They couldn't achieve that, though, so what the fuck? No one's going to remember that, by the way. All right, do you guys think they intentionally cut corners?
I don't believe so. I think they just, made the best game they could with what they had. Like, it's at the end of the day, like you said, it's a racing game. It's not, a big sandbox world and you could drive wherever you want. You can drive into a building and up a building. It's not Furious 7 the game. It's Forza. So, it's like the box is a little smaller and you can do a lot more in a small box than in a big box. So, and they did it well, but I don't think they cut corners.
Yeah, I think he's just asking this question just to annoy otherzinc. All right, Brian, finish it off.
I'll say yes.
Just because.
Just because to annoy him, but I think I don't know much about Forza 5 at all, so I can't really give a solid answer. But judging by what I know about hardware and how that works with software, they would have to have made some compromise in there to get one like working at 1080 60. So yes, definitely something was cut. I don't know what. I don't know what it could have been, but But wasn't that the game that we first seen running on the GTX Titan at first?
I think so. We're Forza 5 though. It's not the Forza 6 he's talking about.
The question here is Forza 5. Because I'm pretty sure that was the game that we first seen like running on a Titan, saying, "Hey, this is how Xbox One gameplay would look," and then it didn't.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got you.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. So they definitely cut corners. Very reminiscent of that chart you put in the comments, by the way, all the lies and stuff Sony was telling.
Oh yeah. You have to stoke the fires evenly, Tony. That's the key.
Exactly. Oh man, whatever happened to that Brian Munjoma hater, whatever the fuck his name was? Remember that dude?
I think he found out that I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Probably. That's how. Yeah, you got to deprive the trolls of their sustenance.
He went like to the field where I grow my fucks, and he found out it was just empty and salted.
Oh man. All right. Next question. This is a long one, but interesting nonetheless. For those of you who view themselves as gamers, who go out every week or month offering advice to people on all the systems, what is the value of them owning both or all of the systems? In other words, does having one system truly handicap most people's vision to seeing strengths and weaknesses of said systems? Remember, we are not talking about casuals, so don't keep up with gaming news and such. We're talking about the hardcore folks. That applies to us, obviously. You know, me in this case. Actually, I guess you too, Brian. So you only have one, like the next gen consoles. Okay, with games, it kind of does because you can't really know about a specific game. That's why I never talk about individual Xbox games because I don't play them. But I think you can comment on like the overall like business of each company. You know, like if you see something, you could talk about it. You don't need to own an Xbox to know what the hell Xbox is up to. Same thing with Sony. You don't need to own a PS4 to know what Sony's up to and whether you like it or not. So yeah, if you're like a true gamer, whatever, you know, if you want to use that phrase, and you honestly keep up with everything. Same thing with Nintendo. Yeah, you don't really need to own all of them, you know. But on the other hand, it could kind of cloud your judgment too. And that definitely happens, and you see it all the time. There's guys who keep up with all the news, and they still like, you know. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying like Mike Madden, perfect example. He owns all the systems, and he clearly has a preference. You know, there are guys like that. You know, and some people may dismiss them. I won't, but yeah, it's interesting. But I'm gonna go with no, it doesn't. If you keep up with all the news, read all the shit, you know, you're as well informed as anybody who actually does own the systems. Right? Who wants to jump in here?
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think you need to own everything to be able to keep up and see how things are doing. Like, I don't own a Wii U, and you see how much we talk about Nintendo, and we keep up with everything they're doing, and it's like I don't own it for a reason. It's not a good system. I'll just flat out say it. It's just not good. It's like I have Xbox One. I don't play it as much. I do enjoy the stuff I have on there. When there's more stuff on there, I will play it again. And I enjoy the hell out of my PS4. I'm playing PC games again. I love it. So, you know, and I read all sorts of gaming news. So, you know, but I do have a gap, and that's Nintendo. But I don't need it to understand what the hell they're fucking up. You know, at the end of the day.
Basically. All right, Brian, what do you think?
Well, the value of owning all systems is that you essentially get access to all the gaming library.
Oh shit! I forgot about answering the first part. Yes, yeah, obviously that is the value. You get all the games. Yeah.
You get to play like any game you want at any time because again you're not held down by systems. But then the downside of that is multi-plats. Then the question comes, like, which system do you buy a game on? Like, you can either do the dumb thing that I did and buy them on all systems, like I did with GTA 5.
Oh man.
Or you can just have the tough choice of saying, okay, I'll buy it for this system, and then I'll stick to that choice regardless of what happens. So it's like pros and cons, really.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I didn't think about multiplats because yeah, if you own all the systems, you kind of have to commit yourself. Like, okay, if I'm gonna get multiplats, I have to pick a system. Because why would you buy Call of Duty, like, you know, on not Call of Duty? That's a bad example. Like, I guess maybe let's go over to Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed on Xbox 1 year, and then one on PlayStation the next one, then on Xbox again the next year. Like, you know, you're kind of I don't see why you would do that. So I think you would want to stick with one system. But that's probably like the main like downside. Like, I guess achievements and trophies would be the only real reason you would decide, yeah, I'm gonna go stick with this one. You know, other than that, I don't know. yeah, so, yeah. All right. Last question. What's up?
I remember there's like 2 parts to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other part was like, do you think? Yeah, go ahead. Answer the last part.
Truly handicapped for most visions. Having one system, not kind of in a way, because you get used to how they do it. So like, say that you're only used to how the system of the Xbox works, and then you get used to it. And when your first transitions over, it's like you get to the problem where it's like, okay, I want to do this thing that I've been so used to doing, and I can't do it, and that's a problem. So then you see that as like a con, but yet you don't see the stuff that that system is doing that other systems aren't doing. Again, the best example I can give you is what's it called? Play like music, like during games. Like that's like as much credit as I can give PlayStation for integrating with Spotify, which is brilliant. But at the same time, I want to play my own damn MP3s, because the problem with Spotify is that it's the non-explicit songs, and hearing the radio edits of songs just pisses me off. I'm sorry, but it just
Wait, Spotify has radio edit versions? What the fuck is the point of that?
I know.
What is this?
See, the ads I can deal with, but the fact that it's radio edits, I'm like, no, I can't deal with this.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that.
So it's just, but then it's like, because I remember that I played GTA 4, 4 on Xbox 360, and that I did with in-game soundtrack. So did I with Gears of War 2, I think it was, and that was like fine. And then of course I come over to PC, there's like options galore. But then I go over to PS4, it's like, oh, you can't really do it as much as you'd like. So you kind of do get a bit too used to how one system does it. So it does sort of cloud your vision sometime, and also it makes you miss out on the other things. Like for example, the SharePlay. The fact that you can like mix in your videos together and put on YouTube. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, it's a lot simpler than on PC most times, since you have to like download like another program and then mess around with shit. But hey, it's like a scale. Just balancing stuff out is really difficult.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that one either. Good stuff. All right. Next question. Actually, the last question from him. I noticed this last week, and there was 3 exclamation points. Why do PS4 games have the resolution specs on the back of the box, and Xbox One games don't? That's pretty evident, because most Xbox games have lower resolution than PS4. You tout what you have. You know, this is why this generation Sony's giving out their numbers. We have sold this many, and Xbox doesn't say anything. Whereas last generation was the other way around. You know, so yeah, if you have an advantage, you state it. Simple as that. I don't think there's anything more to that. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's why this happens. All right, next question. Killax. For me specifically, Tony, if you just bought a high-end PC, what game will you be happy to test out? See, this is a weird one, because I never thought about this. This is like asking me, like, hey, Tony, would you, like, you know, consider jerking off a man? It's like, I never thought about that. Like, no, but I guess like GTA 5, because it looks really nice on PC. I guess I'll try that. Like, if I get a high-end PC, I wouldn't be, you know, playing games like, because, you know, people, you guys know my stance on playing on a PC. PC's for work. This is not for gaming. The PS4 is for gaming. This is for work. But if I did, yeah, GTA 5, because it looks really fucking nice. And I guess Witcher would probably look really good on PC. I guess that's it. Batman, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I never really thought about this. Like, PC is, you know, this is work. This is not a gaming platform.
Hey.
Yeah. A Wild Bread appears.
Hey, everybody.
What's
I'm
going on,
finally
dude?
back.
Yay. All right. So, yeah, I don't have much more to say about that. Hey, Brett, since you're here, you could pick and choose what questions you want to answer from the previous ones. Everything before Killax.
Oh, man. You're going to have to give me a second. I just kind of rushed into the room before looking at the question. I was just like, I need to get on there. So
all right, don't worry. I'll throw one at you now, because this is up your alley. When you play a PC game, do you use mouse and keyboard or a controller? And if you do use a controller, which one do you choose?
Honestly, I like the Xbox controller if I'm going to use a controller, but oftentimes I feel like the mapping to the games, like, this is something I was talking to Rachel about. When you play console games, like, you move the stick forward a little bit, and your character kind of slowly walk forward. You push it forward, and you'll kind of run. Like, so I may be the only one that does this, but in a lot of games, like, I'll go from, like, a badass, you know, like run through like punching guys, and as I come through a corner, I'll stop and kind of slow down and walk and appreciate the vistas or the music or, you know, just the general ambiance, because I'm an art fag like that. So I walk a lot. I walked all the way through Dark Souls. Tony, you saw me like that. And then I see other people that just fucking run everywhere. But I like to have that option. And when I play on PC, it fucking drives me crazy that you're either at a dead stop or a full breakneck run. Like, that is the one thing that pisses me off about mouse and keyboard combination. And I'm like, you can never walk. And some people are like, well, you can toggle the walk button. I'm like, that's almost worse, because it's like the world's most useless button, and it's out of the way, and toggling it doesn't feel right. And I feel like when I play a lot of PC games with a controller, they don't have that sensitivity there, and I want to see more of it. Like I like the pressure sensitive shoulder buttons. I like the sensitive input. So, and you don't get a lot of that on PC. So you have tons more buttons, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I just want to see more support in that, or I mean, I want to go all out and have like haptic feedback kind of controllers for the PC, because fuck it, why not?
Right. When you do use a controller on PC, which controller do you use?
The Xbox controller.
All right.
Which Xbox? OG,
yeah, which Xbox? Yeah.
Or One?
Personally, until recently, I like the big fat ones, like the first generation Xbox controllers. But those are getting really pretty dated. So I would say the Xbox One controller is pretty nice. That'd be my second choice.
All right. The next one. This is a fun one. Okay. If you could harness the power of any of the Infinity Stones, which one would it be? And we're going to go with Infinity Gems. So you could have the pick of all 6 of them if you want.
Where are these posted? Like, did you post these, Tony?
What do you mean? No.
That was just Final Stage Boss.
Yeah, Final Stage Boss, man.
No, I mean, like, I'm not seeing any show questions.
They're in the freaking, like, chat room, dude. You scroll up a little bit.
You're in the wrong room.
Oh, I'm in the wrong room. That explains it. Herp. I don't honestly know. I didn't read a whole lot of that arc, actually. I think that was when I was kind of taking my little comic book break. So
you didn't read Infinity Gauntlet?
I didn't, actually, and it's one of those things. Like, now I'm just kind of like, every time I read a comic now, they're fucking referencing Infinity Gauntlet. I'm just like, fuck. I walk away for like 2 years because I'm trying to focus on some tattoo shit, and then I come back and I'm like, I have no idea what any of like weird shit happened to Tony Stark, and what the fuck happened to Mr. Fantastic too? Like, in the 601 universe?
But the Infinity Gauntlet was like in 1992, man.
Oh, then I don't know why I missed that. That was before I had my little break.
Yeah, I was like, you weren't even tattooing, man.
92? That was when I was in the thick of it. Well,
yeah, like 92, 94. It came out around that time, dude.
Well, I was up to my ears in X-Men at that point, but that it cut into the X-Men comics, didn't it?
No, it was his own thing, man.
No, maybe that's what it was, because I was all the fuck about X-Men between 93 and 97.
Yeah.
Fucking, I have all the Marvel Masterpiece comic card collections about all the fucking comic books. I was all about X-Men.
All right, should we break down the Infinity Gems for him?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so let's see if I can do them off the top of my head now. Okay, there's the Time Gem, which lets you, manipulate time, travel through it if you want. The Soul Gem. What does the Soul Gem do specifically? Like, does it let you take control of people or something? I don't know.
What are the colors of these?
You know what, Brian? You read them off if you got them listed there.
You have the Power Gem, which states you can increase strength and durability, enhances virtually any known superhuman ability, energy manipulation. So essentially, Superman.
What colors are these as well? Just so I know, because I've seen them in
the colors change sometimes.
According to Marvel comics or Marvel movies,
cinematic, yeah,
since they have changed colors.
I mean, I've run across that's why I keep seeing references to it.
Let's go with Infinity Gems, Marvel Comics.
Okay,
yeah,
Marvel
Comics.
Yeah.
The Power Gem's the red one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Time Gem, able to time travel, stop, slow down, speed up the flow of time, accelerate or slow down aging, see into past and future. And the Time Gem is orange. You have the Space Gem. travel through space, mostly through teleportation, able to interfere with the motion of other objects, whatever that may mean.
Yeah. Okay, Space Gem.
Space Gem. That's purple. Interesting.
Yeah, it's purple. Yeah.
Reality. Hold on. Space. Soul Gem. Observe, attack, or even steal other beings' souls or spirits, used to revert individuals to their natural state. Soul Gem, that is green.
Reality.
The Reality Gem alters all of reality, similar to the effects of the Cosmic Cube, but much, much higher. So essentially, you just fuck with people like crazy. And that's yellow. And the final one is the Mind Gem. Near limitless psionic, basically telepathy and telekinesis to the nth degree.
Okay.
And that's blue.
I would definitely choose the Time Gem.
That's funny because that's the one Brian was like, nope, that's the one you don't want.
Why would you not want
that? Actually, no, the Mind Gem. That's the one you said.
The Mind Gem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brett,
the last thing that you want to do is be able to read other people's minds, especially given the context of the YouTube comment section in general.
You don't want to hear that shit. No, I also actually have to say,
Time Gem's a good one, yeah.
Tony, you're gonna kick me off the show for saying this.
I almost kicked you off the show because you didn't read the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, well, that compounded with what I'm about to say.
Oh no!
I just watched Days of Future Past.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But because I walked away from those movies, like I lit the pilot light, I threw down a match, and I just walked right the fuck out the front door, and I never looked
you
back.
may be able to redeem yourself right now. Since you're a big X-Men fan, have you read Days of Future Past?
Yes.
Good.
It's been a while.
You've redeemed yourself then. That's fine. As long as you read the comics. Awesome. What did you think of it, by the way?
I liked it. My favorite. I kind of count that almost as like half an Elseworld title, because it's like they took one step into an Elseworld kind of title, or a 601 universe rather, I guess. And then just
616.
616, and just kind of stepped it back. They're like, yeah, no, that never happened, but it could have, and I really like those. So I'm a sucker for any kind of time travel, alternate dimension kind of thing. Like, if you bust a character into a parallel dimension and they get to meet themselves in any way, like I'm pretty cool with that. So I was, especially anything Cable was in, I was huge into. But I do have to say, Old Man Logan, my favorite of the weird X-Men titles.
Brett, you know why Days of Future Past was awesome? Because it effectively erased X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins.
Yeah, no, okay, so we were sitting there looking on HBO On Demand, and there's X-Men 3 and X-Men Days of Future Past, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'd totally actually be willing to watch that. I've never seen it before, Days of Future Past, and Rachel's like, all right, and puts on X-Men 3. I didn't say anything. I sat there for about 45 minutes before I went on a fucking tirade about how this whole movie is ruined by the goddamn Phoenix, and like Rachel didn't know what I was talking about, so I had to explain it. She looked at me, she's like, so wait a minute, like the Phoenix is like this godlike being, right? And I was like, yes. Like, and now it's a mental disorder? It's like, yes.
Yes. But that didn't happen anymore, thankfully, because of Days of Future Past.
It didn't happen anymore, which makes me happy. So yeah, it was actually pretty good. Like I was actually pretty surprised how appropriate the things that they did were. Like usually they go kind of off the rails, and I felt like, I mean, it wasn't super true to the original story, but like it was true to the characters, I felt, for the most part. Except Xavier. Did not fucking see him being like a hipster. Like,
dude, you didn't. Okay, did you watch the movie before that? First Class.
No, I did not.
Okay, because that sets up that character. But you need to watch First Class. Fantastic movie. Fantastic. That movie. Okay, by the way, First Class. I hesitated to see it for about a month because of X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins. I'm like, no, I'm done with this franchise. People are like, dude, this movie is awesome. I go to see it. I'm like, period piece. The Cuban Missile Crisis. This is fucking awesome. But in that movie, yeah, you see the very different Xavier, the kind of hipstery, kind of cool, suave Xavier, you know. So yeah, you got to go back and watch that. Also, Emma Frost, man, with those tits, fantastic.
I'm looking forward to Emma Frost. I have to say, the thing that made the movie for me was the "I'm the Juggernaut bitch" quote. Like I was so happy that they ham-fisted that into there. I don't know why either. I love "I'm the Juggernaut bitch." Like it's kind of become a thing, and in hindsight, I would have been disappointed if they're like, "I'm the Juggernaut." I would have been like, "Bitch, come on." Just say it. Just say it. It doesn't matter if it fits in the context. Just say it.
We were stupid. Anyway, okay, so Time Gem, which is not bad. That's actually my second choice.
What made me think about that is I really liked how Quicksilver was in that movie, and I've always loved the idea of, you know, super speed seems awesome, and then you really think about like. But it would be almost like everything's slowing down for me. And I figured, like, when everybody bursts in the cafeteria and Quicksilver kind of takes off around the room, just starts, like, tapping people in the face and moving things around, like, that right there is the beauty of super speed / time manipulation. It's not even the I can get somewhere really fast. It's I can slow things down and just fuck with people.
Nice. By the way, the one that won out for, you know, in general, because me and Chris picked the same one, reality, because you get the benefits of time and space with that. It's like, okay, reality, I'm going to just stop time right now just for the fuck of it. Let me go back in time right now just for the fuck of it. You know, reality, just anything you could imagine, like Chris said, better than a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, I've read too many stories where, like, ancient, all-powerful beings gain an ability over reality itself, and they always end up like these hollow, dead-eyed kind of people that eat galaxies for funsies. Like, it just seems like a bad road to walk down.
I don't know. It would be cool. Like, I don't like where that galaxy is. Let me just move it out of the way. It's blocking my view of that other galaxy.
Aren't you Darkseid then?
Yeah, basically. That's awesome, dude.
So we need someone now to wield the Power Stones to become like Superman and fight you guys.
Yeah, you're just asking for the Justice League to kick your ass.
Yeah, man, I want to move galaxies around. Why not? It'll be fun, just like during Logon, just fucking shit up. It'll be great.
Superman wouldn't appreciate that, Tony.
All right. You have the questions up now.
Yes.
Just look at Fern Gully stuff. You know, decide which one of those you want to answer.
All right. Let's see.
By the way, shout out to Fern Gully, man. This guy's hilarious in the comments section.
Yeah, I think Contra could sell well now. Now with the recent popularity of high difficulty.
Right. Think about the question: if Konami did it.
Oh no, they couldn't. Can't go their way out of a paper bag anymore.
You know, got to think about it. That's what we said. We're like, yeah, another company probably. But
old Konami or new Konami? Like current Konami?
Current. Let's fire Kojima Konami.
No, I wouldn't write. I wouldn't trust him to write cell phone games at this point. Have fun going the way of Atari.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
yeah, they're still technically around, but really. Let's see. I was actually about the second question. I was thinking about that today. Like, you know, it's good to be back. I wonder if people miss me. I mean, I know otherzinc didn't, but maybe other people did.
Well, I think he called Manny out last time. He called you out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I wasn't here to call out. So I'm back. Yeah. Direct your raging Xbox fire at me. If Sony went out of business and ceased to exist and everyone out and bought an Expo, do you think that would make otherzinc happy? No, because we would only be buying it because we had to, not because we've bowed to the true glory that is a Microsoft overlord. Like, it's one thing to be enslaved, but he wants all of us to give ourselves over to Microsoft.
Yes.
Which, you know, would be great if they came out with more quality products, and I would totally buy them, but I don't have enough money to buy number 1 and number 2 at the moment, so I've just given up on being partial. Nobody notices, so I'm just going to start firing shots across the bow at Microsoft.
Yes. We got to get the ratings up anyway, so please.
So yeah, it's otherzinc. I think that you're a very passionate person, and I think that you're a very loyal person, but I think that there comes a point in which you need to really look at the rabidness that you are evoking the name of something in, and just chill out, man. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing. They're both computers. It's just Sony has a slightly higher spec, so that's cool. The Xbox has cool peripherals. It's and this is the thing I don't understand. If I had two PCs and one had a better processor and one had a nicer monitor and a really good gaming mouse, and you're asking me, like, which of these two computers is better? I was like, I mean, on paper, the one with better specs, but it depends if you want, like, a million color saturations and 12 buttons on your mouse. Like, everybody's a little bit different. The weird thing I will say is, like, why is it only the Xbox people who care?
Good question.
Like, and that's a legitimate question. Like, even last generation, when Xbox was winning, most of the PlayStation people I went, meh, it's kind of take your choice. I prefer a PlayStation. So, Xbox, you guys are rabid. I mean, good for you, because maybe that power can be harnessed, and I think it did to a certain extent. But fuck, you guys are obstinate. It's coming from somebody who's stubborn as shit too. I think that's basically answered. Like, no, otherzinc would be happy if he could Superman Red Sun the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. Robots.
With a little, like, robot pill head implant thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be there. But, kudos to you, man. You be the watch against the night.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. For the next one, it's kind of involved, but yeah, basically, he wants to know if Forza 5 was dumbed down to get 1080p, 60 frames a second.
Dumbed down is a very weird, maybe not weird. It's a very difficult term to put on.
Cut corners,
Do I think that they optimize it to run as well as possible on the hardware that they could afford? Yeah. Do I think that involved pulling back some or cutting some corners? I mean, absolutely. I think that's a normal part in game development when you want to shoot for the moon, and then you say, okay, well, here's what we can actually handle, or here's what the average person's PC can actually handle, and unless we can get this optimized in an ungodly fashion, then some of this stuff isn't going to happen. So I think it's all kind of in the course of producing a game, and I think that they may have been focused on the wrong things. They're like, yeah, technically they hit the mark, but at the end of the day, these are words that we use to judge how good a game looks. So if you make a game look not as good in order to technically meet these high watermarks, like, yeah, sure, you could have 60 frames per second and 1080p with no fucking textures, and yeah, you hit the high watermark, but nobody's gonna look at your game and go, ooh, that's fucking gorgeous. Which is really what
Forza looked pretty nice though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it still looks good, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Everything else, graphics, resolution, frame rate, things like that, these are all things that we use to try and quantify what at the end of the day is this a pretty picture? And a lot of this, you can get these things from people who like, there are game companies, development companies like Naughty Dog that can pull every last drop of power out of something. They can do a lot with very little. And so I would take, Uncharted 2 versus any other comparable game that even said it, ran at a higher frames per second or anything like that, because it's about the game. And if indeed Forza cut corners, they'd only be shooting themselves in the foot. But Forza 5, it looks awesome. If anything, I think that they've probably cut corners in the actual gameplay and mechanics division to make room for graphics. I wouldn't be surprised to see that maybe the body damage is just a little less realistic, or it's not taking into account airflow, or something. Something under the hood might have been taken out. But as far as, like, parsing down graphics to make it run better, it still looks fucking gorgeous, so I don't think it matters. As long as it looks good and runs good, that's really what matters. And finding that sweet spot in the middle is where it's all at, so.
All right, I want to hear your answer for the next one, because it's very interesting. Basically, the short version of it is, if you're a true gamer that keeps up with gaming news and keeps up with industry and all that other stuff, if you don't own all the consoles, can you actually, like, opine about the consoles you don't own?
Not really. I mean, it's one of those things.
We talk about Nintendo and Xbox every single week, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's for a very long time, I was a big proponent of owning every console. And honestly, until this generation, I have owned every console. Even last generation. Like, I had a Wii, I had an Xbox 360, and I had a PlayStation 3. Before that, I had a PS2 and an Xbox, and what was that, a GameCube at that point?
GameCube, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had every iteration of every system all the way back to the NES. And this is the first time that I really have it branched out, and I think it's a combination of it being too expensive, and console exclusives, they don't really happen so much anymore, except for Nintendo. And to get it out of the way with Nintendo, like, I talk a lot of shit on Nintendo, but at the end of the day, I'll say that they broke up with me. And the reason I don't consume their products anymore is they very blatantly told me that they don't care for my business. They don't care to try and get my business. When they do get my business, they don't try and keep it. Whenever I invest in one of their systems, I get no adult games. And if I complain about that, I just get, well, fuck you, we're Nintendo. So it's very clear in their marketing strategy that I'm not their target demographic. So I kind of say that they broke up with me. And at that point, it's just a Nintendo, for the most part, isn't worth the money investment for me, because I don't have a lot of friends close by. Being over 30, it's tough to get 4 of my friends in a room, and that's where most of the magic happens with Nintendo. So there's my bit about Nintendo. Taking that bit out, PlayStation and Xbox are very, very similar. So yeah, in the name of unbiased and a few exclusives, if you've got an extra $500, absolutely go buy it. But for the rest of us, we can't do that, and it's becoming a more and more rare occurrence. So then we run the risk of, if we limit true discussion to only people that have all the consoles, then to a certain extent we're parsing down the conversation more and more as we go, until we're only going to have 3 hardcore fanboys locked in a room yelling over each other.
Oh, man.
And that excludes the rest of us. That's not good. That's not what any of us want. So I don't make any secret that I don't own an Xbox One. I've spent a fair amount of time with it. I have friends who do. I feel like a lot of the things that I remark on can be remarked on, because I'm not talking about, oh, it sucks to have an Xbox One, or oh, it's just a paperweight. Or I don't say anything about the actual owning it. The only comparisons I make are, on paper. We can compare resolution, we can compare frame rates, we can compare graphics, we can directly compare these things. And again, we're trying to get to the meat of how good something looks, but these are all measuring sticks to do that. So I don't know how to succinctly wrap that up, but yeah, in a perfect world, we'd all own all the systems, but it's not realistic anymore, and I think that we would at least worry about hypotheticals rather than shutting down the conversation if those are our 2 options. And as long as you're willing to say, as I think all of us are, this is what I own, this is what I don't own, here are my feelings on it. Like, I can absolutely remark on the graphical capabilities of the Xbox versus the PlayStation. I've seen them both. I own a PlayStation.
And the business practices too, don't forget about that.
Absolutely. I actively choose to not buy a lot of Microsoft stuff because I don't agree with a lot of their policies, and that makes me just as involved as the people who do buy it. But it's we can't remark on what it's like to have an Xbox in our living room, but just about everything else I think is fair game. And as long as you pay attention to the thing that you're talking about and not just talk straight out of your ass, that yeah, I think we can all have a discussion about this.
Yeah, because we're not talking about the individual games. Like when Halo comes out, Chris, that's going to be your show right there. We'll let you talk about it because you'll have that. I won't say anything because I won't be able to play the game. You know?
Like I won't be able to say anything. Even the last Halo, the Master Chief Collection, I couldn't say anything about the aiming mechanics or, how it felt refreshing to be back in a Halo universe. Or I really like where they went with Master Chief.
But you can talk about the fact that the online didn't work.
I can't talk about the fact that the online didn't work. I can't talk about the fact that they didn't apparently finish the game before they turfed it out. I can talk about the fact that from a business point of view, it seemed like a blatant cash grab at the expense of your consumer base, and I don't appreciate that. And I don't appreciate that for your information, guys, on your behalf, because I have buddies. We're all fucking gamers. I don't want to see any of us get taken advantage of. So I'm sorry if I insult something along the way, because I want to make sure that none of us get crapped on, you included.
I expect a certain somebody to talk about this in the comment section this week, boy.
No, he shouldn't say shit about that about Master Chief Collection. That game was broken. I had it, and it was fucking broken. And the patches that they released were patches, you idiot. They weren't fucking additional content. What fucking world do you live in? Are we on Earth?
And see, for those of us who can't, we have people like Chris who can get mad for us. Be like, I'm not really qualified to get mad about this, Chris.
Yeah, let Chris go off.
It was ridiculous. Oh, the stuff he said in the beginning when the whole thing with Master Chief came out. Oh.
Oh man. All right, let's move on to the last two questions here. The last one from him we kind of answered unanimously, Brett. It was like, yeah, they show the resolution of PS4 games because they're higher than Xbox One. That's the simple answer. You know?
Yeah, the person who wins brags. You never see America's number 2 brand on any product.
All right, let's get to the last two questions about Phantom Vash, and welcome back, Phantom Vash. You weren't here last week. I think finals or something's going on. All right, with Konami.
I want to hear what you said to Killax's question real quick, Tony.
Okay. I said this is like I never really thought about this. Like I'll say exactly what I said. I was like, it's like someone asking me, "Hey, would you jerk off a man?" I'm like, I've never thought about that. I don't really want to do that. But for the sake of answering this question, I said GTA 5 and The Witcher because they look nice, but it's a PC. PCs aren't for gaming. They're for work for me. Consoles are for gaming. So I never really think about it that way. But if I had a super mega PC, yeah, GTA 5 because it looks pretty on PC. You know, and I guess Skyrim too because that's like 5 million mods on it. I
love the fact that you equate it with an uncomfortable forced sexual encounter. Like,
I know.
First thing that came to mind. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Would you like to play a PC? You're like, I guess I could play with a donkey's balls, but I don't really like. Whoa, man! Like, are those really on the same level?
To me, they are. I don't know. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, would you want to play with a donkey's balls? I'm like, I never thought about that. I don't know how to answer that. Same thing with the PC. Like,
probably not. I mean, I haven't put any thought into it, but probably not.
Yeah, it's like, would you want to shove your hand up a donkey's ass? I'm like, I never thought about it like before. Same thing. I never thought about like, oh, if I had a gaming PC, what would I play? I never thought about that. Same thing. Anyway, Rachel left. She probably went sleepy. All right. This is a good question by Phantom Bash. First one. With Konami not looking so great and could possibly be leaving the video game industry before the generation is over, I guarantee that. I wanted to ask a hypothetical question. If Konami were to sell off their assets / IP, such as, I'm going to name them all, the Fox Engine, Metal Gear, Castlevania, Silent Hill, Contra, Dance Dance Revolution, Gradius, Frogger, Suikoden, Pro Soccer Evolution, Zone Defenders, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Bloody Roar, and Bomberman, to name a few, what third-party or first-party companies would you like to see pick these up? Now, before we answer that, they don't own the Fox Engine. Kojima owns that, which is interesting. You need to throw that out there. But yeah, if you can have any of these, any company, first-party, third-party, pick up any of these IPs, who do you choose? I need a little bit of time with this one. This is a very complex one. Chris, I'm going to look at you because I'm pretty sure you've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah, I did think about this, but now I'm like blanking on.
I got one for now because I'm an idiot because I've been saying this already. I want From Software to take Castlevania. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's because Bloodborne is like the perfect 3D Castlevania.
Exactly. Really there you go. So yeah, they could take that. As for who would make a good Contra game? And my question is, how would Contra work? Like, should we keep it as a 2D game or as a 3D game? Because the answer to that question gives me an idea of what company should handle it.
Would it be Contra if it were in 3D?
See, that's a good question.
Well, it's been in 3D. It's just been done badly.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, would you turn Contra to a first-person shooter? Like, if you did that, is it still Contra?
And by the way,
how would you shoot the blimps and then jump up to catch the power-ups?
Yeah. By the way, I need to say this real quick. Look at all these games that Konami is just sitting on. What the fuck?
I forgot about Gradius And Bloody Roar is like these games like
Dude, I loved Bloody Roar.
Yeah, Bloody Roar was awesome. Ooh, okay, I got to think about Metal Gear right now. What company would be best to handle them? Because I'm thinking third party. I don't really want any. I don't really want Sony or Microsoft taking these. You know, I want them for everybody.
You know who should take Silent Hill? Kojima should start his own company,
Yes.
get that shit back, and finish Silent Hills. That would be amazing. What he showed us, a taste, is like some of the best stuff I've seen in horror, you know, in gaming in a long time. Like,
Yeah, like a decade.
Yeah, real true horror. It's like it hasn't been done. And Silent Hill, like, if anybody played Downpour or Homecoming, those games were kind of lame. They're kind of lame. Like, they haven't done justice to that series since, I don't know, 2, 3, I don't remember.
I'm gonna go with that answer. I want Kojima to take over Silent Hills and just call it, you know, like Quiet Valley or something.
Yeah.
Quiet Mound.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody that I was like, it's not like Silent Hill owns the rights to hell bleeding into our dimension. Like, it's kind of something that's been done a couple of fucking times.
They don't own the rights to Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, you can just take Norman Reedus and be like, okay, so this is hell spilling out into a quiet, sleepy, coastal, foggy village.
So
You're
it's
like
like
Silent Hill?
Yeah.
No, not like Silent Hill. Like,
Stephen King. They're
Yeah.
Stephen King. Silent Sleepy Town, Weird Monsters. Stephen King. So what's a Silent Hill? I never even heard of that. Just feign ignorance, man.
By the way, have you met our new villain, the Rectangle Head?
Oh man.
Wouldn't that be like a polygon instead?
Yeah.
Those rectangles
Polygon
are like two-dimensional.
Yeah, Polygon Man. Oh no! Now I'm imagining Arthur. Now I'm imagining Arthur Guys in a video game, and that's just scary right there. That's true horror.
Does anybody like? I'm surprised Frogger made it onto this list. I mean, I know that they own the rights to it, but is that really a game anymore?
It was.
It was like you could just give it to some like small studio, remake nice.
Put it on mobile.
God, it was barely a game the first time.
Whoa, that's hateful. Don't say that.
I'm sorry. Okay, come on. Really? Like, who has fond memories of lazy Sunday afternoons playing Frogger? Anybody?
That Frogger's fun. It
was for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Frogger's fun on your TI-88 calculator because you don't want to be studying in geometry.
Yes.
Like it's a good like. Look, we made a bunch of games and it has Frogger on it too. Like Frogger is always one of those collection games.
By the way, I forgot about Gradius, man. That hurts me. That was a good game. Brett, I'm pretty sure you like Gradius, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bring that shit back, man.
Could they?
They would have to be 2D though, I think.
Also, Yu-Gi-Oh is a card game. Like that needs to stay dead. Like let's.
Yeah. Well, what if you made Gradius like Star Fox? What if you could do that?
Ooh, like the first one. Yeah. That'd be cool.
That game that there was a multiplayer game that came out that I was like, this is kind of like Star Fox, or what Star Fox should look like by now.
Oh yeah, I
forgot the name of that game.
Yeah, there you go. So Gradius, Soykid, and everybody's asking for that fucking game to come back. But yeah, what companies would best handle these?
Oh, Soykid did I give to Square Enix?
Oh yeah,
big RPG. They could probably do it upright. I would give Bloody Roar to
Final Fantasy.
Huh?
Like the like how Square Enix have been doing with Final Fantasy.
Uh-oh.
No, don't look at 13. Don't look at Hallway. Like, don't look at Hallway. Just after that, it's okay. Just ignore Hallway.
Hallway 2.
Hallway 3. Yeah, just ignore that. That's a dark hallway. Don't look down the hallway.
So should it have really been called The Only Fantasy?
Well, you know the story behind Final Fantasy, right?
Which one?
No, the very first one. Why it's called Final Fantasy.
Yeah, because they thought they were going to go out of business.
Yeah. They're like, okay, Final Fantasy. It's like, oh shit, we made money. Final Fantasy 2.
It just goes to show you that all you have to do to get SquareSoft, or now Square Enix, to make a great game is drive them into crippling bankruptcy.
Yes.
So everybody stop buying Final Fantasy games, and they'll remake 7.
Yes, it'll happen. I have an answer for a Metal Gear, but I don't think people are going to like me for it.
What's that?
because this is Metal Gear. It needs a big ass budget. It can't be handled by a little studio. It needs the biggest out there.
So it needs Bungie.
And I'm gonna go with the lesser of two evils, EA.
Oh, you get the fuck out of here! You get the fuck out of here right now!
I told you.
I swear.
Wait, hold on.
I was like,
EA
give it to Bungie.
Hold on. If EA is the lesser of two evils, then what's the other one?
You know who's the number one evil. Come on now. Activision.
That's like saying like which of the two ugly sisters? No, which of the two ugly twins like would you date? Like it doesn't matter. They're twins.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with EA because I have more EA games. So yeah, I'm gonna go with EA because Metal Gear cannot be
basically lens flare the company.
Oh,
Yeah.
Basically like lens flare and orange the company. That's what, and that is who you can give to. The same company that ruined Need for Speed. Is the same company that ruined Dead Space. The same company that axed off The Sims.
Okay, can I get specific then?
The same company that's going to axe off visual games in about a couple of months' time.
I understand, but the thing is, I'm thinking about the money here. We need Metal Gear cannot be a little independent game. It needs to be huge. It needs to be, everything. It needs a huge ass company. And I would say Sony, but I don't want it to be exclusive. Give me an alternative. Ubisoft.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah.
If it goes to EA, all those like gadgets and stuff that you unlock by beating the game, microtransactions.
Ooh.
DLC locked.
Okay. What about
Also,
Ubisoft?
You know EA will do that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 2 Metal Gear games a year. It's like stick Metal Gear in a photocopier.
Tony, did you learn nothing from Pet Sematary?
Oh no, that's a good one.
EA's ground went sour.
No, you guys are right. I'm gonna go with Ubisoft. They're the lesser of those two evils then, because they have Splinter Cell and they don't shove Splinter Cell down your throat every year. And Splinter Cell, the last Splinter Cell, I'm gonna be honest, stealth wise, it was better than Metal Gear. I'm just being honest. So okay, Ubisoft. They're not as evil as EA or Activision. Because Brian, you're right about that. They're gonna make everything microtransaction. Everything. You're gonna get
drive into the ground like an asteroid.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ubisoft. Ubisoft has Assassin's Creed, which is pumped out every fucking year, but it needs a big studio. It can't be a little one. So that's my answer for that. Soikiden, I'm gonna go. Yeah, Chris, you're right. Square Enix. What else? I don't know about the soccer game.
I would give Bloody Roar to the studio that made Guilty Gear.
Ooh, dude, that'd be awesome.
I don't know though. I don't want to see it go
I wouldn't
like
give it to
Darksiders.
Capcom. I would not give it to
No,
Capcom.
fuck no, don't give it to Capcom. I'd give it to the guy who the people who remade Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Well, then you'll have more
Poor
microtransactions.
man.
Warner Brothers went microtransaction fucking happy.
Well, not this recent one, but the one before that. Was that also?
Yeah, that was another run. Yeah, I mean, fighting mechanics would be really good, and it'd be bloody as shit. Bloody Roar would be bloody.
It seemed to have the right pacing. It was a 3D game, and they just seemed to be able to replicate source material pretty well. Like they didn't feel the need to make it their version of Mortal Kombat. They just felt the need to make it a good Mortal Kombat.
Well, it was by Ed Boon and stuff, so it was his game anyway.
All they make is Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat-like games, like Injustice. And they're basically the same thing. So I don't want to see Bloody Roar be Mortal Kombat with Bloody Roar skin on it.
Yeah,
that's something different.
Honestly, I'd like to see it made by the guys who made Dead or Alive if they wouldn't make it exactly like Dead or Alive. Because Dead or Alive does really good, like, situational arena combat, knocking people around. That was one of the best things about Bloody Roar, was beating somebody's ass all over that arena.
The first thing I'm thinking of with Dead or Alive is...
I know, same here.
Boom physics.
Bare titties.
Dude, you say that, but if they came out and showed you a screenshot of a hot chick that turned into a giant mole wearing a bikini with still like big floppy mole titties going everywhere, you'd fucking pre-order that shit tomorrow.
Hey, I'm already. I don't know. I'm just thinking about bestiality.
With A.
No, I'm just thinking about bestiality right now because there are some hot animal women out there. So yeah, perhaps.
Not even bestiality, just the sheer weirdness factor of it. Like, just think about somebody turning into a cow and doing their ready thing like this, and their udder is just flopping in glorious 3D resolution with little highlights glistening across it.
Just imagining a milk finishing attack now.
It would be amazing. It would be awesome. I also want to say I'd like to give Bomberman to Housemarque, the guys who made Resogun.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a perfect one, actually. I like that. Hey, you know what? Give Gradius to those guys while you're at it.
Fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah, dude.
They seem really good at the retro style games.
Yeah, man. Yeah, give it to them. There'll be explosions everywhere. Fantastic.
I'm just thinking of the sheer amount of therapy you'd need, like, after Brett proposed that fighting game with the milk. Because you need a lot of therapy for that.
That'll be the comment of the night for this episode. Mole titties.
Yeah.
No, man. I grew up, playing Clay Fighter and watching Ren and Stimpy. I'm pretty sure the damage is permanent but minimal.
That's right up that alley too, man.
But this is like the I'm offended by grass generation of people. So
yeah, man.
Like, the second that they get that, like, whoa, this is just beyond us. Like, Jesus.
Perfect. You just mark it with the Barbra Streisand effect.
Yeah.
You just put a character in there who's literally one giant jiggling tit with boxing gloves, and then just watch the pre-orders come rolling in.
Exactly. But I will say, because the first party was mentioned, it would be fun if Metal Gear came to either box, right? Just to see the fanboys on the other side pissed. Dude, if Metal Gear came to Xbox One, I'd buy that shit in a minute, son. Oh, man. All right, anybody else want to jump in with anything else or want to move on? I think we answered most of it.
Yeah, I don't know who could do Zone of the Enders, though.
Yeah, I don't know, because we want a Western studio, we want a Japanese studio on that. Because a lot of Japanese studios are not that good nowadays. That's the problem.
I say just give them all to FromSoft. Screw it.
All of you in Metal Gear. It's going to have demons in it and shit.
I like to see like a dark Bomberman. I think that'd be pretty cool. No?
Didn't From Software do one of the later iterations of Armored Core?
I think they did. Yeah.
From Software. Actually, the first From Software game I played was 3D Game Heroes. That was really good. So they
that game was awesome.
It really was, man. And it was like, okay, I don't have Zelda. I have this instead. Fantastic.
I love the sword that reaches across the entire. It's like 8 of your body lengths. It's like, look at that guy over there. Whomp.
Even across the rooms and stuff, just fuck them all up. You know, it's like get in the middle of the room, it's like and kill everything and then move on. But you had to work for that too, man. This is great. All right, last question. Thoughts on the fact that the next Call of Duty is skipping last gen, and that Activision seems to be going neutral in marketing the game for PS4, Xbox One, PC at the same time. I personally do not care about this franchise, but find this news to be very fascinating. Xbox has had exclusive marketing with the franchise for years, and I didn't expect Activision to ditch last-gen COD players so soon. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to happen this year. The console, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like so soon. Like these consoles have 7th generation has been going since 2005, 2006.
Thank you.
So, it's not so soon. It's almost like a decade.
Yeah, it was like even when I think it was Ghost, right? It came out. I'm like, why? Why are you bothering?
Okay,
Stop it,
guys. Seriously, Brian is a PC player, and I'm poor, and we both own PlayStation 4s. The rest of y'all have no excuse.
Yeah, it's like, good, no, stop it. Just stop it.
It's not my thing. It wasn't Brian's thing. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. Get one.
Yeah, I have PS4 and Xbox One and PC. So
we need to stop making I'm pissed off a little bit every time I hear that they're still making games for last gen consoles. I was like, I bought a fucking PlayStation 4 so I could play next-gen games, not slightly upgraded graphics on PlayStation 3 games because you refuse to stop fucking developing for it. Quit ruining my games, last-geners.
Yeah, and by the way, fuck Call of Duty too, man, because I still have to write, because when I do news on it, coming to PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, it's like, fuck, I thought we were done with this shit. I just want to write 3 systems and that's it, because we know it ain't coming out for no Wii U. Just 3 systems. So anyway, yeah, it was bound to happen, and I'm glad it happened. This last gen, we're done with last gen. We're done with that shit. Get rid of it. As for the console stuff, is that a fact? I thought it was still exclusive to Xbox, like the DLCs and all that bullshit.
I think just marketing in general will be all inclusive now, because when they did announce the new one, they said that they'll be making PC a priority, so they'll be aiming to actually get it working on PC, which I don't know if that's true or that's just PR nonsense. But again, time will tell.
If they go on that, if they reverse it, just make sure you have an infographic ready.
Indeed. And plus, like this generation of consoles now, it's pretty much just PC hardware anyway. So
Yeah.
it makes sense from like a business point of view, just to say, okay, will now be like these like systems, since they're like pretty much the same family to like develop for, compared to like 360 and PS3. So from a business point of view, it makes sense. It's cheaper to develop for all these consoles now than it is, and with that means that there's a higher chance of getting more profits than before. So it makes sense to do it this way. And plus, freaking hell, like Call of Duty just doesn't give a damn anyway. It sells like millions, so they don't care. They've already shown that they don't give a damn by releasing like. There's been more Call of Duty games than Metal Gear games probably at this point.
Oh yeah, easily. Here's the other point I want to bring up. Why would you like market exclusively to the Xbox One when it literally is like losing 2-1 to PlayStation? It doesn't make any sense to like, okay, well here's all the shit just for Xbox. It's like, but this system has literally twice as many like players on it. Why would you? Yeah.
I don't think it's a numbers game. I was just actually
How
watching.
so? I think the numbers are pretty like self-evident right there.
It's about desire. I was actually just watching a really interesting special on psychology and exclusivity, and basically it becomes you want people to feel like they want to be part of a club, and they are not part of a club. That worked really well on the last generation when technically the PlayStation was a little bit stronger, but you had better service on the Xbox side, which meant you had a lot of people on the Xbox side, which gave rise to the impression that there's a big party going on over here, and all these cool people are invited. Don't you want to be part of it? And the natural human reaction is to say, yeah, like anytime you can be part of a higher, like in this show that I was watching, they even like took people who were coming up to eat lunch together, and they're like,
you're talking about that velvet rope thing, aren't you?
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
it last night.
Yeah, it's very telling. And the thing is, as long as that group or that club, as long as you're envious of it, as long as you want to break into it, as long as it feels exclusive or slightly out of reach or like a party that you want to join, a lot of people are going to bend over backwards to get on board that ship. But then when you come into this generation, like Microsoft no longer seems like the hot commodity. It no longer seems like the place everybody's wanting to go and where all the cool kids are. They can still have a lot of subscribers. They can still have a player base. A good example would this be like when an MMO starts to die, there can still be enough people to fully populate the server that you are playing on. So you could try and log into that dying MMO every single night and still hit a queue for an hour before you're able to log into your game. But the point still stands that now that game is known to be dying. And that's going to slowly creep in on you. You're going to feel like the world is empty. You're going to notice every time you can't get people together for something. You're going to notice every time you're in queue for something for too long. It's this very subtle psychological thing. And so I think right now it's just that it's a comparison thing. Last generation, Xbox was the place to be. Now they are another console. So it's not so much that they've lost anything, it's that this kind of pedestal that we've put them up on, they're no longer in, I guess. And so if you no longer have that advantage, you wouldn't market that advantage. Last time when people felt like, I want to get on the Xbox train, there's all these people here having fun, I want to be part of this, it was beneficial to say, Call of Duty on Xbox, because it made people think about that. There's certain kinds of associations, especially that Microsoft was so heavily online. You think on Xbox and you think playing on Xbox Live, like they're so closely associated. But nobody wants to advertise going to a party that not everybody wants to go to. It's you're not going to put an ad in the paper for meeting somebody at the grocery, meeting your favorite celebrity at a grocery store, just because it doesn't sound as fun or as important. And if there's one thing I've learned in my 31 years, it's that the hype train is often real, and a lot of times the hype train is the best part of the game. It's what you make of it. The best part of any Souls game is playing with your friends and being involved in the community and trying to figure out the lore. You build these things up. They're not necessarily things that come in the box, but they're things that you add to the game. And I think the online experience was a big part of that, especially on Xbox. Like I said, you said on Xbox, and it means on Xbox Live. That's not there anymore. So what's the point in pointing it out other than the fact that, like, oh, and we're on another console? It's saying the same thing, but the words have lost their magic. And it doesn't matter whether there's 10 people on Xbox or 1,000 people on Xbox. You know, there's still enough people on Xbox that you as a person will never notice the difference. If you buy an Xbox Live or an Xbox One right now, you will never have a lack of people to play on. And you will never actually notice that there is only half as many people on Xbox right now as there are on PlayStation. The same way last generation, there was a very thriving, healthy ecosystem on PlayStation 3. It wasn't the same ones playing Xbox, so when Xbox would be like, oh, who do you play with over there? It's like, I have tons of friends on PlayStation.
Fucking idiot. I remember that shit. Who do you play with? You don't have people.
So it's very much a perception thing. And so, like I said, I don't want to say that they've lost anything as much as they just don't have that benefit or that point of view to bring to the table.
It's not luster, man. It's not about, like, oh, Xbox, that's crazy. That's exclusive. Yeah. Everybody's on Xbox.
Lost the luster, not worth bragging about anymore. That would have been a way easier way to say it.
Yeah, well, Brett, this is you, man. You got to take the long way to say these things. This is why the last 3 episodes have been really short, man, because it's been missing.
I try and educate you fools.
Yeah, right. I think you pretty much said it all right there, basically. That's what it is. Xbox ain't what it used to be, so Activision wants to make that money. So, simple as that. Chris, you going to say something?
Well, I had a simpler thought. It's that Microsoft is not interested in having the exclusivity of Activision at that point in the year because they're going to try to push Halo 5 and Xbox simultaneously. See, it's their exclusive FPS, right? Coming out around holidays. So they don't really need to be promoting Activision stuff when they want people playing Halo and actually investing in Xbox at that point.
I have a question. Since Sony doesn't have anything, do you think there might be like, hey, Call of Duty, PlayStation,
They probably grease their palms a little bit to.
But it's not actually. I think that's when Chris said that. My immediate thought was, well, why don't they just curate an entire environment full of exclusives and try and get known by that? And then I realized it's not actually an exclusive. It's just being marketed as if it were an exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have actual exclusives anymore. We only have trick everybody for 2 months because they think it's not on their console.
Well, Halo is an exclusive.
Well,
Halo
but I mean, in terms of like Call of Duty, like we're talking about marketing rights and where it's not actually exclusive.
Just like what Sony's doing with Star Wars. It's all being marketed to Sony, but it's not an exclusive. It's not at all. But they're doing it. Yeah.
And that shines. That trick may work, but it'll only work for 2 months until everybody realizes, oh yeah, it's on the other console too. Like if you do that shit in June, come December, any lead that you had is going to be gone.
I don't know, Brett, because some people are really stupid. Like I've seen this at GameStop. It's like, you know, he's like, oh man, I really wish Call of Duty was on PlayStation. This was already like 4 years into it. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? It's right there. Call of Duty 4 or whatever, 4 freaking places. Oh shit, I thought it was only on Xbox. That's for years. People are stupid. So keep that in mind too.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I was assuming that it just took people a few months. I've had those times where I'm like, I thought this was only on Xbox.
Some people never learn because people are idiots.
Fair enough.
See, Brett, that's why we work well off each other. You kind of raise humanity up, and I bring them down, so we even out somewhere in the middle. People are dumb. I'm sorry, they're fucking idiots.
Fine. I need somebody to dash my idealism every once in a while.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sure smart people be like, oh yeah, that shit's on my other system. I'm gonna get it for that. But the average people, the stupid people, they won't know.
I'm sure that Activision wanted some extra money to push it towards Xbox, right? Well, Microsoft's not going to do that now with Halo 5 coming out.
Yeah,
just like the same thing Capcom wanted. Capcom wanted Street Fighter money. They're like, you give us money, and we'll figure out this deal and make it work. And Microsoft just went, no, we have Killer Instinct, so no, we're not giving you money.
Yeah, there you go, Killer Instinct. The Street Fighter killer right there, right?
Yeah, well, that's the reason that it's going to, PS4, right? Because Sony gave them money.
Yeah. Actually, the real reason supposedly is like, because remember Ono, he wanted crossplay between all the systems, and Microsoft was like, nope.
Another thing I'm thinking about when I'm looking at this question, one thing that comes to mind is the Call of Duty players are a very secular market in the gamer community, right? Like, they don't bring money in for the rest of the fucking console
that's it, just for
ecosystem.
that one game, man.
So it would make sense for them to be like, you know what? Fuck you guys. We're sick of you being a hole in the bucket. Buy the new console or get the fuck out of here because we're sick of not getting any money from you. I could see this being like a shit or get off the pot kind of thing, and very intentionally not releasing it for last gen systems. It's like, we don't make a shitload of money off you guys. Buy the new fucking console.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right.
And you know what? They're probably willing to sell as well.
Also, keep in mind, the new consoles, both of them have online subscriptions, so I wouldn't actually be a little surprised if Sony and Microsoft had anything to do with, like, hey, tell you what, why don't you just make these for the new consoles so that everybody has to buy PlayStation Plus and kick you back a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a conspiracy theorist in me, but it's the market for these guys is completely different, and I can see them trying to find a way to make some money off these guys.
Well, Brett, you say that it is a conspiracy theory, but then at the same time, you wouldn't put it past these companies anymore at this point in time.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's the damn truth. You see all the shit they pull.
Yep, it's a sad day when you're like, I might be crazy, or they could actually be that evil. Who knows?
Yeah, and they usually are that evil.
Yeah, they are that evil. It's not like we're sitting here saying Forza 6 runs so buttery smooth because it's coded by lizard people.
All right, let's wrap it up here. A couple of things. Brett, I guess we're bringing back Game of Thrones this week because we're at the midway point now.
Yeah, we wanted to touch base again with the week 5. Everybody got messed up with all the episodes being released, and everybody we knew just was on a different episode. And so now that we're all caught up and all the viewers are back in the same place, we're gonna touch back down. And I also had some stuff going on, tattoo conventions.
Yes, I want to ask you about that because you've been busy lately. Actually, you've been missed. You're famous man now. You were in the newspaper and everything. What's going on with that?
Oh, I've started doing medical tattoos for nipple tattoos for mastectomy reconstruction cancer patient survivors, and I decided I was going to give up my Sunday to donate free nipple tattoos to women who have had mastectomies. And Rachel put it up on Craigslist, and from there our local newspaper picked it up, and from there our local TV news picked it up, and I've been in the newspaper, I've been on TV, I've been being flooded with people. I just got done doing a full day of them today, so between that, the tattoo convention, and trying to eke out some comic work every once in a while, I've been a busy fucking guy.
Hey, vacation man.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, there you go. I guess if anybody needs these services, hit up Brett.
Yeah, I'm here. There's guys in New York that do it, and there's guys in Washington, I want to say, that do it. Very few people in the middle of the country. So if you need some help, hit me up.
There you go. By the way, I like the name of your newspaper, the Kansas City Star. Sounds very comic bookish.
I know, right?
Very cool. All right. I think yeah.
I expect it's run by the same kind of editor that Peter Parker reports to. Flat top, big mustache.
Or Spider-Man. Okay, so Manny should be back by Thursday, so he'll probably tell us some stories about Orlando. I think that's where that's where Disney World is, right? Is Orlando?
Yeah.
So so he'll probably tell us some stories about that. And he'll be like, man, fuck that place. Who knows? Manny's not as dark as me. He probably liked it or whatever. All right, so let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to follow The Coalition at thecoalition.com. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and I was joined by Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, people.
Brian Majoma.
I'm out.
I like that.
No, I was reading something. I was like, Brian Majoma, like, what? I'm out. Outro time, Brian.
I like that. I like it. Caught you off guard, man.
I feel like he should have pulled off his headphones and just dropped them and rolled away.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm out. Clunk.
And Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
All right, guys. We'll see you Thursday. Later.
There it is.
Dropping the headphones.
Literally dropping the mic.
Okay.